Applications in the good old days was mostly used to build highways. It's a mortar mix, concrete mix. They built the Empire State Building up there in New York City. We found out that on all the mining they did here for 40 years, we could have built the Empire State Building 480 times. It's school bus windows. We could have built a 4-lane highway from here to Detroit. Here, help me out. Lions and Tigers and... You did well, but where did the Bears play? Chicago, yeah, that's all right. I was hoping for Pistons or Red Wings. That's okay, good enough. But the actual limestone built the Empire State Building did come from Indiana. Okay, Don's gonna play a game. All you gotta do is shout out what game I'm playing.
Ready? What game is Don playing? Here we go.
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch. All right, now, you know, you use something to draw
Chalk.
to make the squares. What do you use? Chalk. Guess where chalk comes from?
Limestone.
Limestone. You are correct. By the way, kids. Now listen, if you run out of chalk, kids, go to the garage, find a scrap piece of drywall, rip off the paper, there's your chalk. It's cheap, but it still works. All right.
You might see some filler numbers coming up here because under this blue lighting they kind of shine pretty well. All right, Louisville cruststone quarry. If you Google this online, you'll get a picture of the miners who worked here in 1942. And indeed, they did sell this industrial agricultural lime, and that was high in nutrients, and it also, the farmers use that to adjust the acidic level in their soil. So hopefully that'll make the corn grow straight and tall. We're going to talk about corn here because corn's used in the making of bourbon. But first, I wrote what you're about to see here in between the lights on the right. This, of course, is Mount Salt. Yeah. The city and state actually store their excess road salt down here. Now, the fact that this is dusty, they haven't used this room in 20 years. But these rooms that are vacant were used in the last few years. We have 150,000 tons of it. Street value is $40 million. We get our road salt from underground sea salt mines under Lake Erie, from the Gulf of Mexico, and Morton salt. Keep in mind, our Morton salt is not edible, but spreadable. All right, now moving along, we're getting up to bourbon. So here's the 3 B's of Kentucky, kids. Number 1, bluegrass. Number 2, game you probably like, basketball or baseball. And number 3, here we go. Bourbon, you got it. Named for the Bourbon House of Bourbon in France. That's where it came from. We do have a Bourbon County in Kentucky. Bourbon has to be 51% corn mash. However, there's other whiskeys that are made from rye and barley, but we're the kings of bourbon down here, the queens of bourbon, so to speak. We have 68 distilleries in our state, and you can only use a barrel of bourbon once. And then I think they cut it up and sell it in a big box store as a planter. So where are some of the distilleries? Well, if you go to Shelbyville, there's Jepta Creed on your way out there. If you go south on I-65 to Claremont/Bardstown, we got Jim Beam down there. We've got, see, there's Angel's Envy, there's Heaven Hill. Evan Williams is in downtown Louisville, and Louisville Slugger, my former employer, actually turned the lacquer line into a liquor line. Yeah. So where they used to lacquer up retail bats, that room is now a bourbon tasting adventure, so to speak. By the way, the mint julep is used from, I'd just say 2nd grade bourbon, but the thing of it is you sip it with a straw, and the thing about it is the original straws were made of, hold on here a second, I got a person coming in here. Make sure you go around me. Well, the original bourbon was sipped through grass reeds, but the sipping straw, the modern day sipping straw, was actually invented by Marvin Stone. So if you didn't learn anything from the tour, other than Marvin Stone was the modern day sipping straw person, at least you learned something. This is pillar 94 to your right, gang. Say hello to our dumpster. All right, we do it first. Late dumpster. Okay, for the House of Bourbon. All right. We build walls over metal studs. That's what you're seeing here. So this is a future warehouse. And the warehouse number will coincide with the pillar number. Fiber rock, which we use for the walls, mildew resistant, stronger than drywall. Drywall in this kind of atmosphere just, it fall apart because of the humidity factor. All right, straight ahead's a little sign says, Troop Advisor, please rate us. I remember a country song my wife used to sing, and it's something like, how does that go? Don is great, Don is good, Don is crazy. Yeah, that's called an accolade, kids. Give me a thumbs up on the internet, I appreciate it. Well, hopefully you got entertained enough and you learned a lot. That's all I ever try to do when I do a tram tour anyway. Make it fun so you come back, and maybe I'll see you for the Christmas Express. Okay, all of these warehouses, this is all new. This is all in this year. This used to be the bike park 5 years ago. We had an underground bike park here. But you don't have any issues when you're storing boats, as opposed to Evel Knievel wannabes on trails. So we put in brand new lights. We took out all the old fluorescent bulb ones. And then dehumidifiers will be in here as soon as we get the garage doors up. And we have to have a fire sprinkler system. We got it all over here in this area. And because of the humidity factor, you can see the road sweating a little bit. And when the trucks bring in dust here, yours truly gets on the green machine and cleans the floors. Yeah, you'd be surprised how much dust really gets in here. We probably store about 200 boats in the winter months. Of course, a lot of those boats are gone now for obvious reasons in summertime. If you go to the other side of the cavern, we have 12 active businesses. There's a couple that make concrete tiles. There's 2 companies that store paper product records like U of L medical and dental records. They're in cardboard office boxes, I've seen them. There's a company that takes returns off the internet, repurposes them, rephotographs them, and resells them. Mostly like shoes, belts, clothing. There's another company that's called an auxiliary warehouse. Get this, they'll store anything you want for a price. And one of the things I saw them move in the past 6 months was about 500 car axles. I used to like the company because the guy that ran it, his name was Rocky. Yo, it's me, Rocky, hey. But he retired, now Gary runs it, his brother. So, anyway. All right, there's a hole in the wall. I don't see any roof bolts, so I guess it's the miners left that and said, the heck with the roof bolts, it's good. And right around this time of the day, the floral shops are probably leaving because they exchange flower orders down here. You know, the kind that you plant, not the kind that you put in cookies. You know what the biggest floral day of the year is? Valentine's Day, followed by Mother's Day. 9/11's a big day too, Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And of course, don't forget the birthday, because the Hill Sisters wrote happy birthday to you, and they're in Cave Hill Cemetery with Colonel Sanders. Well, we got something left over for the dinosaur show. Here it is. Anybody here watch the Peppa Pig show? Remember Peppa's little brother George? He knows one word. There it is. Dinosaur. And there's the rules to the old bike park. All right, I think I can. I'm up the hill. All right, well, I hope you appreciated me. I hope you had a good time. Thank you. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a U-turn. Keep in mind, if you're not from Kentucky, it's illegal to do a U-turn in our state. but we're no state, we're a Commonwealth, so I got away with it. So it's Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, Virginia, and Massachusetts. Now, here's the deal. Stay seated until I get you a footstool, because the only trip we're interested in is TripAdvisor. I don't want anybody tripping off the tram. Now, I drove at the speed of a stop, but I can move at the speed of a lever to get you a footstool. So just give me a second, then we need to be safe and come back and do the light show. So thank you very much, and may the force be with you.